I'm Coach Ron West with Clemson University. I've had the opportunity and privilege to be able to coach Division 1A for 25 years, and what we're fixing to review is the offensive run drill tape and the way we teach steps, combo blocks, and the things that are important in run blocking, and just want to go through some phases with you in this drill tape. All right, this offensive line drill tape, our run fundamentals. This is our pre-practice drill that we do. We start off every day in half groups, and we work on second step quickness at the pipes, and we use our zone steps. Now these pipes, guys, so just so everybody understands what I've built here, I've got about $5 and maybe 30 cents, maybe $6 invested in this whole apparatus. That pipe right there is a PVC pipe. It's basically an inch PVC pipe with an elbow. That's a PVC pipe, and that's a PVC pipe right there with an elbow. And then these tires that I've got cut out are basically, all I did was go to the fill station, service station there, and just asked the guy if he would give me some of them old tires, and took them down to the shop, and we cut the tops off of them, the bottoms off of them, right there and we barely trimmed them up, and we've got a tire that lays straight on the ground. And what we're doing here is we're going to create two-step quickness. For many years, I did this without the tires, and I had a high school coach, a gentleman named Alan Sitterly, worked camp with me one day many years ago, and he showed me what he did, and I learned from him. So we learned from each other. I did it without the tire, and what I found out is now I can walk around and go look at another drill, and I can check out the film, and they learn to do this on their own. But this is two-step quickness, and all we want, this is TJ Watkins right here. He's working on the right zone step. I want the second step pounding. I want you to lead with the hands. Try not to draw the hands. I want the hands tight, and he's just pounding it up. And all we're working on is every day, you know, if I'm going to yell at you because you don't step with your right foot and you don't get your second step down, then I want to make sure that I practice it. And so we do it in pre-practice, and we make them do it in pre-practice, and they learn to get better. If you got a kid that's long striding, I recommend he does it. I recommend all your players do it. Zone right here. Boom, boom. Two-step quickness. Zone step, pound. Then he'll just go get in the other line. Then the next guy goes. Zone step, pound. Pretty good steps. Quick feet. How quick can you move 2 feet? Zone right. Boom, boom. Here's a big kid that long strided when he got here. Boom, boom. I want him to get his eyes up. Don't be lazy. This kid right here definitely was a long strider when he got here, Brantley. There he goes. He's taking a good zone step, getting his second step in the ground. Lazy with his hands, not shooting his hands. All right, now here's Gary Bird over here doing it over here on the left zone step. So they just line up. And this is a pre-practice drill. Practice hadn't even started. This is what we got to do to get better. We got to do this every day. And this is a good shot of Gary. So Gary's in a right-handed stance because he plays on the right-hand side. So he comes over here and he takes his left zone step because he's going to have to cut off on the back side. If he's a right guard or right tackle, he's still got to drop that foot to cut off that technique. So there it is. He drops, and then he drops and he pounds. He gets the second step down, and you got a pretty good balance, good hands, and you got a good football player right there. All right, TJ plays on the left side right here. So he's in the left-hand stance, so he'll zone left. And he'll zone left, and he'll get his second step. All right, so you got the idea of it. Here's Brantley. Remember, Brantley plays on the right side. He's a right tackle, so he's in a right-hand stance. So he's cutting off the back side. So he's got to cut off that technique, and how you going to learn to do it unless you learn to step on it every day. And that's what we're trying to do. So we've done a right zone and a left zone. Let me just go to this. Now, you know, since we've been at Clemson Tulane, we've done a great job of running the football out of two-point stances. And one of the things that we do is we make our players work on it. And we take our steps every day out of 2-point stances and 3-point stances. So here's Gary right now goes, so he's done a right zone step to the right out of a 3-point. He's done a left zone step out of the left out of 3-point. Now he's coming to a right-handed stance. He's going to do a right zone step out of a 2-point stance. And that's our 2-point stance. Shoulders down, butt down, flat back. Here we go. So we take a right zone step and he works it. Same thing. Learn to step. Don't false step. Now TJ's doing it from a right-handed stance. There it is. Zone right. Don't false step. Nothing should change. Now Cedric's going to do it. Greg's going to do it. Same thing. All right, now they come over here. Now Gary, you see Gary right now is in a right-handed stance. So he's got to, how's he going to cut off the technique when he's playing right tackle, right guard, and he's got an inside shade? How are we going to cut it off? We're going to have to work on it. So if we don't work on it, we can't get any better. So now he's going to take a drop, he's going to pound, and he's going to be able to cut off the technique. TJ's going to work on it. He's in a right-handed stance. Now he's going to work on drop, cut off the backside technique. All right. So that's what we do. We get that done. Everybody gets through that, through 2-point stances and 3-point stances. And now we're going to go to the next phase. So what I did earlier, we did our zone step, and we showed our right zone and our left zone steps. Now what I'm doing is I've taught my players, and we did a lecture earlier on Coach's Choice videos. We did a lecture on the zone scheme and how our players learn how to block the zone. And we tell our players anytime they take a drop step, now they're taking a trail step when they're uncovered, when the techniques, when the man's taking a zone step, he's a lead guy, now you're a trail guy. So here's the trail step that we were talking about. So you get to the hip of the next man. So for example, Gary's in a right-handed stance, and now he's got to drop pound, and he's got to cover the hip of the next man inside to cut off and to combo block that 3 technique if he's a tackle, that inside 3 technique. So we're going to work on the step every day. This is in our pre-practice. So here it is, drop pound. And you see he opens the shoulders, gets on his point, and then he works the step. It's a good job by Gary. Drop, pound, and now he works it. And he's just working the line. All right, here's T.J. Watkins doing the same thing on a trail step. The difference is that T.J.'s he plays on the left side. It don't matter what side they're on because they got to take the steps no matter what. So T.J. now is playing a left guard, and he's doing a zone combo with the tackle. So the tackle and him are doing a zone combo, and he's now the trail on the tackle's got a lead, and he's the trail guy to cover the hip. So he works his drop pound, and he works the angle. And you'll see this when we get in our combo blocks, what I'm talking about. Needs to be down a little bit more. Don't be so straight-legged. That's Cedric. Greg's going to work his drop pound, bend in his hips. The thing I only emphasize is this is all pre-practice, and we're not doing this during practice. We ain't got time to do this during practice. So we go out early to do this. Hope everybody understands this is our warm-up. All right, we're in a right-handed stance. He was on a right-handed stance over there. Now he gets to work the trail step. If we're in an even structure running the zone and the tight end's covered, he's working the trace block. So he's going to work a drop pound on the angle that gets him on the trace. That's why we do this. I got tired of yelling at guys in my coaching days when I was younger, yelling at a guy because he didn't step right. If I teach him to step right and I overemphasize, I found out through the years I get what I want. And so what I do is we do this drill and we get these covered, and of course then they've got to have some discipline and character about themselves to do what we ask them to do. If we work it, there's no reason they can't do it. There's TJ doing it, and here comes Cedric. All right, All right, Brantley's going to be in a right-handed stance. Greg's going to be in a right-handed stance. He's going to do the same thing. Now Brantley's in a right-handed stance. He's doing the same thing. All right, so there's a trail step. All right, now we do the same thing that we said we did earlier. We took the zone step. Now we're on the outside pipe. We need to do the trail step from 2-point stances. So this guy's he's a right guard. So he's going to take a trail step. He's a right guard. He's going to take a drop, and he's going to take a trail step. So if we were running a combination between him and the center, and if we had an odd scheme and they were running a zone play, this is the step he should take. So he's taking a trail step. This right guard, same thing. This right guard, same thing, trail step. Now we're going to go to the pipes, and we're going to do the lead step. Now the lead guy in a zone blocking scheme, the guy that's covered by a down lineman. All right, so the lead guy is the guy that's covered. He was a little confused on that. All right, so this technique, for example, this is a guy that's got a right guard that's got a technique that's on his outside shoulder. All right, and so he's got the tackle, trail blocking, trail stepping, and he's zoning here, and they're comboing to a linebacker right here. So we tell this guy to take a tap step with your left foot, and don't zone hard away from the technique. Tap step barely over the pipe, and drive your second step in the crotch. Oh, here it is. Boom, boom, just like that. And that's a lead step. Tap lift. We're going to do a tap lift technique. We're going to do a drill tap lift in a little bit. Now TJ's going to get it right. Now he's playing a left guard like he's supposed to do. He's got the technique outside of him. So he's going to take a tap step with his right foot, drive a second step in the crotch. Real nice feet by TJ. Quicker hands. Let's watch 65 at the top, see how his feet look. It's probably a pretty bad angle, probably can't see it. He's wound up being a real good player for us. 65, Cedric Johnson, real nice feet, left, right. Just look how quick those feet are. Dancing, pretty dancing bear right there. All right. All right, here's Brantley right here. They just need to learn to use their hands more. We emphasizing feet right now, and you know it's just like anything else. You've got to now say, hey, when you look at the tape, guys, we need to get better emphasizing our hands. But, you know, my thing is when I go to a drill, I want to make sure I get something done there and I get something coached and I get it better at one thing, you know. So I tell our players, if we go to the ladder or steps, we go to the pipe drill and we're doing steps, you make sure you better be better with your feet. Two-step quickness better be looking good. And you better be getting it done. Here's the lead step right here for the left. This guy's like a right tackle, and if he's a right tackle and he had a guy on his inside right here, and the guards trail step into combo, and they're going to combo block this 4-eye, here's the step we'd want. We want him to take a tap step with his right foot, pick it up, put it back down, get his second step in the crotch, just like that. That's the steps we want. All right, we've covered the lead steps. Now we're going to move on. One thing that we believe in is our shoot work on the inside zone, and what we're working on right now is taking our basic steps for the inside zone. And the thing that we work on more than anything by doing this shoot work is getting off the football, getting off on the snap count. We basically having a snap count that we got to get used to under, and we do our shotgun takeoffs from the zone. So basically what we do is we line up the offensive linemen on the other side of the chutes. They put some resistance on the bags. We got some L bags we got from World Sporting Goods, and we line up on this side of the board. These are double boards, so we got to force ourselves to take a zone step over the board, second step down. We got to bend in our hips because this guy's 6'6", this guy's 6'4", this guy's about 6'5". We got to learn to bend in our hips and not bend over. And what I don't want to have is guys that can't bend. So what I force guys to do by doing this drill is to drop their hips and to learn to bend. And if you look at these guys, I create what I say is I create a guy by taking a guy and making him do something over and over. I make a guy do the same fundamentals that football were about when I played and when you probably played. You got to be bending in your hips. You got to be knee benders, and you got to be able to bend and get underneath things. And what I want to teach my guys, because we're pretty much a shotgun offensive football team, we want to learn to come off the football and be able to press the line of scrimmage. And we've got to keep this mentality. We don't want to have slow feet here. So I'm looking at, when I look at the drill, I want to see how fast these guys are getting these feet down. This is a pretty nice job of this left tackle right here. Boom, boom. Good leverage on the bag. Good leverage on the bag. Good fits. Pretty good fits. Nice job, all of them. Got nice bases. You see how we emphasize in the basing and getting your knees to their knees and pressing the bag. They still got a nice knee bend. All right, now we're going to the left. We'll do a zone right. Now we're going to come back and go left. Same thing. Look at this. This left tackle's taking. He's in a left-handed stance. He's in a left-handed stance. Right-handed, right-handed. Now he's taking a left-handed stance. They're going to drop. He's a little slow striding here, but this guy's right here a little bit better. Look how quick his feet are. Let's see how he does. Boom, boom. That's a pretty good job. But, I mean, this guy's 6'5", and the thing is he's 320. And you can see we're teaching a kid to bend. 6'5" kid right here, teaching him to bend, making bend. It's a pretty good job. And they're doing a good job of maintaining a base and creating a base and sinking their hips. So we're doing this. This is kind of a daily must that we do, and we force them to do it. All right, here we go. This is our racehorse. So we're going to be up. Now our center controls our snap count. So the good thing about this, if our center's going snapping the ball, I'm forcing him every day to snap the ball, make the go call. I'm forcing these guys to get off on the snap, and I'm making him responsible for making a good snap, and I'm making them get off together off the rhythm. So we're not laid off the ball. And again, we're in two-point stances, so it's even tougher to learn to bend. That's why I love the shoots, because I don't think there's any excuse to say I can't block anybody physical because I'm in a two-point stance. We're going to do it every day, and we're going to get good at it. It doesn't take that long to do. So that's zone right. It's a pretty good job right here. Good takeoff. Good press. Finishing on the bags. Got nice bases. All right, we're going to zone left. It's not a bad snap. It's not exactly what we say. We would like the snap to always stay in the box. I got to review that. We're talking about the center quarterback snaps and developing a shotgun center. This is one of the drills we do to develop it, but we'll have that on our drill tape on our Coach's Choice, developing the shotgun snap. We'll have Kyle Young and Tommy Sharp, two of our former centers, working that drill with us. But here's a good job, good quick feet, pretty good feet right here by TJ. Nice feet by TJ. Pretty good feet by Bird. Bird's 6'5", see, Bird had to learn to bend, so he's leaning a little bit. But for a big 6'5" guy, that's pretty good at teaching him to get better. I wish he wouldn't drop that head at all. I want that butt to drop. So here's our outside zone steps. So basically what we do is we line them up over the next guy, and we're going to drop, cross, and we're going to get up this lane right here. That's what we're trying to do, get up that pipe. And we're forcing them to learn to bend, and even though that guy's 5 yards away, it doesn't bother me a bit. All I'm forcing those guys to learn to run bending, stay with a flat back. And I think I make a kid become more athletic. Bend and run. This is outside zone going the other way. Get on the tracks. Drop and cover. Outside zone going to the right. Outside zone going to the left. It's a pretty good job by Bird right here, backside tackle. Drop. Look at that. Look at that step. He's in a good right-handed stance. Look at that open step. Look at that step. See, he pivots. Look at that drop step. Drop, pound, and he's running it. Now he's running this track. Boom, boom, boom. There he goes. Let's watch TJ right here. Look at that drop step. He gets on the track, cover the hip, drop, pound, then you go. All right, so once we get that done in the shoots, the only thing that we've done any different that every now and then we'll do our trap pulls, because all our linemen have to pull in the shoots. You know, every one of our linemen pull and trap. So what we'll do, we'll do this some where we just throw and run through and learn to press the line of scrimmage and, you know, teach a kid to run through and not raise his pull. So we throw right like we're pulling right and run. Then we pull left. This is standard drills we did when I was in college. Pull left. Pull right. You got a board right there. We're in front of the board, so we got to drop. We got to drop our right foot. If we're pulling right, we got to drop our right foot past the board. Then we leverage. Pull left. Got to drop and go. All right, blocking linebackers. This is something I try to hit this about. If in a course of a week, I'm going to do this at least twice a week. The thing that I'm trying to do here is develop an offensive lineman understanding how to fit a linebacker in the inside zone combo blocks. Okay? And there's ways that we want to fit the linebacker. If we're going to the left, we teach our linemen to wind up with their inside leg. If we're going to the left, we want their play side leg out, and their inside leg would be the backside leg to the technique. So basically, we're running a play to the left on the inside zone, and this guard or tackle is coming off the combo block. To fit the linebacker, this is how we want him to fit. I don't want him to fit like that with the hip out of it. So here's the difference. Brian's got his hip out. Derek's got his hip in, and he's got his inside leg up. So we feel like we've got the backer covered now. So we practice that and tape that because it takes a certain feel to get that. It just doesn't happen. You can't say go cover the linebacker and the kids go understand how to cover him. All right, well, this is a pretty good job by this guard, this Nick. He comes in here, got his inside leg up, he covers play side half. Really, this is good by Nate and Nick. Both of them got inside leg up. Now, you know, they learn press, linebacker stops, then they got a wall. He's just playing with him. He's slapping on him and all that. But they got to learn to work with each other and get something out of the drill. Good by Derek, good by William. Explode through, get your inside leg up, press the linebacker, good. Fit the linebacker. We want to be on the play side half, we're running the zone play to the left. That's good by TJ. Learning to adjust on the linebacker, coming off the combo block. Then look how he shuffles to get there. Let's see Will right here. Here's Will right here coming off. Fits the linebacker. Look at the inside leg. Look how he really forces. The difference in TJ, he covers him, but he really never truly tries to get that inside leg up in there really as fast as Will. Will covers the guy. Watch how quick he gets that inside leg up to the crotch. Being a technician and really doing a good job of getting the inside leg up, which leverages the linebacker. Good job by Derek. Just be a little lower. Let's see Gary right here. Gary's coming downhill. Linebacker's down here. Look at Gary. He's fitting pretty good. Gary's good at getting the inside leg up. Now he's forcing back. He understands his leverage on the linebacker. We'll do that going to the left, and we'll come back and do it going to the right. Let's see if we got one going to the right. All right, here's going to the right. So we got Will and Gary Bird right here. Bird and Will. Zone right, come out. Now Will gets his left leg up. Gary should get his left leg up. He's going to the right. A lot of times, you got to tell a kid how he's going to cover a linebacker. And if I'm running the inside zone play and I'm coming off to the right, I'm fortunate. I'm very blessed. I've been around a lot of great coaches, and I've been and seen a lot of great line coaches. And I learned this from Joe Moore, who I think was an excellent offensive line coach that ever coached college football at Notre Dame. So Joe Moore taught me this at a young age in my coaching career, and I feel very thankful that he taught me this. So, here's Gary coming off. He got his inside leg up. He's leveraged the linebacker. That's how you cover him. Better by Brian really forcing this time, trying to get his inside leg back up. All right, now we're going to go down blocks. This is how we teach down blocks. The thing that I want to do on a down block is Gary Bird's doing a great job up here at the top, right tackle, is we want to force ourselves to take a zone step with our inside foot. And we want to do this every day because we get in the ball games and these knuckleheads sometimes won't take this zone step and they don't understand why they're not successful. And it all goes back to this fundamental. You got to zone step with that first foot and then drive the second step up the field. So he's going to zone pound, load the hands on the play side half, lock out with the play side arm, which is the right arm, and pull cloth with the inside arm. Pull cloth, look at lock out, pull cloth with the inside arm. And that's how we do our down block. We work on this every day. Half line, they do it half line. He works on his shotgun snap. It forces him to drop his hips. He's got to take a drop step. He's a little slow with his right step. TJ, let's see him down block. That's pretty good. Get your hips through, TJ. Get your hips through. Now lock out the right arm. He's not getting the right arm blocked out. Let's look at the left side over here. We've got down blocks. All right, they're a little high, all of them high. He's high, he's high. Nate's the best one, 75. He's doing a pretty good job. He's got a good zone step. He leverages good. Nate's got his hat where it needs to be. He's got a pretty good right arm. Lock out your left arm, Nate. Well, we do two type of drills on down block. We let them come off and just press first time. But they need to still practice locking out the left arm and pressing the right and pulling with the right arm. Because now we're going to do a two whistle drill. That's pretty good by Derek. Get your hips through, load them. All right, now I'm going to go to the spin. This is down blocks versus the spin. Now this is a two whistle drill. This will check them and to make sure they're locking out their play side arm and pulling with the inside arm. All right, so they go off the ball. They're going off of him. They move and that ball moves. All right, so they got to work on getting off the snap, off the shotgun snap. He's got to work on his snap. If he's snapping the ball wide all day long, then we know why. He's just being lazy. And the bottom line is, now he's got to work on, when we blow the first whistle, that guy's going to spin outside, so he's got to work on locking the right arm out, pulling with the left arm. See how his left arm pulls here? Lock and pull, and now when the guy spins, the guy can't get there. Now, one thing Brantley's doing wrong is that right arm, is outside the frame. It's not in the armpit. I want that right arm, not on top of the shoulder. I want it underneath his shoulder in the armpit so he can lock out and press, and so the guy can't spin on him. All right, now we're going to go to combination blocks. This is the post drive, and this is how we teach the tap lift. And if you're the lead guy, this is Gary Bird. He does a good job with this right here. You saw us earlier in the drills, you saw us take this step, this tap step, and drive this foot in the crotch. Now what I'm emphasizing to Gary and these young men is I want to work on tap lift and lifting the technique. And the way we do that is we want to bring the shoulder up, and you'll see this, and we'll lift. And we don't want to use the left arm. We want to use strictly the right shoulder and flipper, and we want to learn to drive it in there and lift the defender. And our job as a lead guy is tap and lift the defender and make sure we get him up to double him and combo blocking. So we want to overemphasize that. So this is the lift that we're talking about. So we do a little drill with this. We're going to do a tap lift, and we're going to do a tap lift drive. So first of all, we're just going to work on 3 steps, or tap lift. See, he don't have enough shoulder in his. Gary's got more shoulder. See, I just see forearm there. That's not the lift. He didn't get the shoulder in. I'll show you the ones that do it right. All right, let's see if we get one that does it right. See if he gets the shoulder in that. That's a little better, but I'd like for him to really get that shoulder in there. That better right here. TJ does a good job. Tap lift, good hips. He's a little bit removed. He's still got just forearm in there. TJ's the best one. But they're understanding what we're working on, and we're trying to really emphasize. You know, sometimes this is good to just put them on squares. Howard Mudd did this up in Seattle many years ago when I went up there to see him. He had these squares built 5 yards apart, and I got pass rush drills we do on the squares. We do our zone combos on the squares. We work off of lines, and sometimes that gives us a good idea. Now I can work 4 guys, and I can kind of look at 4 guys just a little bit better at a time. So we're working on our tap lift, and we need to really do a good job of shooting the hips, overemphasizing not using the outside arm. All right, tap lift drive. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tap lift, and what we're going to try to do is we're going to drive the defender and keep our hips down and just work on pumping the arm and keeping the leg in there. Now, this looks kind of silly, but what we're trying to do more than anything is overemphasize a big base and not use the left arm and keep the shoulders square. So this is called tap lift drive. This guy's got no hips. His hips never got through. It's pretty close by him. Pretty close. Now they're going to do them from 3-point stances, which they got to practice them. So they got to tap lift, boom, and they got to practice that same technique. And it's, this looks like a funny thing, but how can we expect a kid to learn to lift somebody if he doesn't learn to do it from a 2-point stance, a 3-point stance, and practice it? Learn to feel it. All right, and this is doing the square drill, doing the same thing. So let's move on. We're moving on. All right, now we're going to do the fit drill. All right, the fit drill on the combo is we got 2 guys that are fitting in between. 2 guys that are going to be in position to block a down lineman. They're both fitting half a man. Now they're going to drive this guy back to the feet of the linebacker. One's going to slide on or off on the linebacker. So we're doing a fit drill. We're learning how to double a guy first. So I'm breaking down combo blocks, how I believe the progression of teaching should be. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to learn to just press this guy straight back. And feel that. You try not to get the hips open, keep the hips tight. I want us to rub each other. Like one guy's foot's getting wide, he needs to keep his right foot in the crotch. He's getting all the way out to the toe. That's too much separation. There's a little thing you can do to force this. Take your dummy and push it in there, have a manager push it in there some, and if it falls, then that means their hips are getting too wide, and make them do 10 up downs on the side and put another group in. We got to overemphasize, they got to get tight with their hips. So if their hips start getting wide and they start splitting things, then you're going to have problems. But you got to make them think they got to stay tight. Force them to be tight. All right, now you got to come back and do it with 2-point stances, 3-point stances. You done it. You put them in fit position, and they already were in contact. Now you got to work on a tap lift, and now you got to work on a zone pound and get to the hip. And he's got to get that hip to that hip. There's too much air in this one. That would be bad. That would be bad. That'd be a problem right there. That guy'd split you. That's not good enough. This is good, because this time this guy zones over. He gets a. Now, actually, this is a good example of the center on a shotgun snap. This is another thing I'm doing, developing the shotgun snap on a center. We snap everything, but watch this. A tape we're doing with Coach's Choice, just showing drills that we do. But see how he drop steps and he gets his left foot up. He's trying to get it back up in the crotch on a zero technique, and the other guard is zoning in. They get pretty much hip to hip pretty good on the combo. Pretty good by Will. What I like is the emphasis of not using the arm, the outside arm. He can't use that right arm until the linebacker forces. Okay, this is a post drive combination block. Get them hip to hip, and now we're going to deal with. All right, now we're going to deal with the situation of coming off on a backer, and if the backer comes off inside, trying to run underneath the blocking scheme, then the tackle. What I tell these guys, and it's real simple. I tell these two guys, that you can't come off this right tackle. You can't come off until that linebacker shows to your face. I don't want you coming off with the guy stacked. I don't want you coming off with the guy back here. If you come off too early, then what's going to happen? This guy's going to split us. What we're trying to do on all our combo blocks is press the line of scrimmage to the feet of the linebacker. So when you feel the guard come off, because the linebacker's under, because he's looking at the guard's looking at the linebacker, if he comes off, then your rule is clamp the technique on. What that means is your inside leg up and you clamp the technique and you press and lock out your play side arm. So we're running a zone play to the right, and they're combo blocking this guy. And let's say they're in great position, they're combo blocking, this guy's on a tackle, he takes a zone step, he gets his left foot in the crotch, the guard 12-step pound, he's in there and they're pressing the guy. Now you work on coming off and reading the linebacker. Linebacker under, guard come off, clamp, look at the tackle, clamp, look at the linebacker fit. The guard fit. All right, that's how you do it. That's linebacker under. Clamp, there you go. That's two of those. So we're going to move on to the next one because we've got a lot to cover, men. You do it. Now I do these, again, I did those out of 2-point stances, so we're doing them out of 2-point stances, all in fit. Then you got to come back and you got to do them where you're not in fit. Now you're going to come off and do them, and this time you're not in fit. And you got to learn to feel it. You got to take your tap lift step, your combo block, you're pressing it, then all of a sudden he comes off. The only thing I don't like is that tackle don't get in there enough. He's getting in there pretty good. I guess the guard's the problem. The guard doesn't get the lift. See the guard on the lift? See what we talked about earlier on the lift? He doesn't get the shoulder under, so he's lifting with the forearm. He doesn't have the shoulder under there, so he's kind of got us behind the 8-ball, and we got a little split going. But the thing I do like on that drill is you make them come out of a stance, and then now watch the guard come off and the tackle clamp. All right, now we'll go to the next drill, linebacker over. So now they've zoned it. Now see, this tackle scares me. He almost forces off this thing too much for me. I don't like a tackle coming off this thing with the linebacker being or an inside zone play. I don't care. I don't like a tackle coming off with the linebacker there. He's too far removed. That scares me. Linebacker's still stacked. I want the linebacker to be out there. Because, see, it doesn't matter when you cover the linebacker there. I just want to make sure we emphasize the down lineman. Now Greg's got to get over, get his left leg to the crotch of the defender, and he's got to cover that guy, and he's covering that guy. Let me see if we get one better on linebacker over. All right, this will be a good example of linebacker over, because this guard doesn't come off. The snap's not real good by Chester, but we got to. This guard doesn't come off until the linebacker is at least head up to him. So let's say he fits the linebacker out here. That's no problem. He presses the linebacker here. He presses here. The back will make him right. He'll just zone here and press and cut back. I'd rather do that and make sure I've got level 1 secured. What I see a lot of kids do, a lot of young people do, they think they got to worry about the linebacker to the point that they don't secure level 1. This might be a little bit better. Let's look at this tackle on this combo. A little quick, scares me. I'd overemphasize, if I was watching this film with him, I'd say, hey, look, Keel, I'd want you to get in there a little bit more and press. A little too quick for me, a little bit too quick. I'll show you the ones I like. All right, linebacker plug. Okay, now this is a combination block you use when you do the power play. If we're running the power play, which we run the power out of the gun offense, we run it out of the gun and out of the eye. So if we were post driving or double teaming this guy to the backside backer, this guard is responsible for A-gap plug to backside backer. If he runs over top, then the guard takes over and he takes him. This is a three-way combo. So if we had this, then this guard's got to be able to come off for the plug. He's got to fill it. Now our pulling guard will pick up the backside linebacker. Now Gary Bird's got to clamp. He's got to clamp it. He's got to fill it and clamp it. All right, linebacker plug. Cedric clamp, good. This is the center in the guard combo. They plug the linebacker to backside A-gap. Then that's what the center protects, is the backside A-gap on the odd. All right, here's a tackle guard combo. So they got a tap lift going here on the post drive, and they're running the power play or the counter play. We talked about the counter play earlier. 25, the counter play coming here. We're pulling the center. We're pulling the backside guard and tackle, and they're doubling the 3 technique to the backside linebacker. Again, the guard's protecting the A-gap strong, but they're doubling to the backside linebacker. They plug the linebacker. You got to come off. You got to work the combo. You got to work it. How do you going to work it? We start off this like this and fit, and then we learn to feel it. All right, here's the counter drill. So you saw the drill we did right there. Here now we're going to take it and work the pull side of it. So here's the cut. Guards pull it. We're running the counter. Now we're going to work the cut part of it. He's going to pull and cut. He's going to pull and cut. Tackle is outside the center. He's cutting. That's an even call, me call off the center. He's running the counter drill. Now we're going to run the counter drill. Center's going to pull. He's cutting. Guard base cuts off. Now the tackle pulls. He's outside the frame. He cuts. Outside the frame, the tackle cuts. We're running to do it to the left. When you cut, you want to try to get your inside leg up. Inside leg up. You see some of these guys are cutting a little early and they get in trouble. Now if the guard pulls and the tackle pulls on the counter drill, then what we want the guard to do, the tackle to do, is make sure he takes a deep drop step to force him to get 1 yard off the hip, 1 yard deep, so he can see what's going on. So center's blocking back. This guard's pulling. He's on his track into the line, like we talked about on the counter. We covered the counter play on the shotgun counter play in Coach's Choice video. We did it earlier, but here's how we teach it. Now the guard cuts. If the tackle's outside, he cuts. We'd like for that tackle to have that inside leg up. Step on the toe with the inside leg before you cut, to force the hip all the way through. All right, now we're going to move on. Read it. This is how we read it. We learn to read it on the run. So now we're gonna give these guys two directions. I'm gonna tell him to squeeze one time. He's gonna work on his shotgun snap. He's gonna pull and he's gonna log. If he squeezes, he's gonna log. You got to get around the horn tackle and fit. Play side half. There you go. Good. Actually, he would cut that guy, but we're not gonna cut him in this drill. All right, now. We give the guy an upfield charge. Now Will's going to kick the guy. Now Kill's got to get around. We want him to fit on the play side half, not head up. Play side half, inside leg up. We repeat it. Now we get it right. Kick, play side half. Now the back runs that seam. We got a kick, and now we run that seam right there. All right, we run the counter drill. Got that down. All right, now let me move on to something else. All right, we've looked at the combination blocks with the center and the guards, and now I'm going to kind of look at the guard and tackle combination. So here's a combination block, and on this particular one, we're actually running an outside zone, where you see this guy is kind of dropped, and he's getting his left leg all the way to the tip of the shoulder, trying to turn the shoulder. That's what he's trying to do. And this guy's running, drop, run, and he's getting there and leveraging the defender. And we're full zoning this to try to get on the outside to get the linebacker leveraged. This would be an outside the zone play that we would use that concept with. Same play, and now we've got a deep drop step by our guard to cover this, and now you get a little penetration, but on outside zone play, that's not bad if we're full zoning this thing. So we got a drop, pound, and you see he does a good job with the right shoulder. He's all the way on the linebacker. We got the linebacker covered. All right, this right now is a dose call between the tackle and the guard. He's the lead blocker. They're going to run the inside zone. The reason I can see that is because the way the tackle's going to wind up on this block. He winds up on that block. He's on the outside half, but he winds up making sure he gets the guy outside with locking with the right arm. And you can see when he takes his first step, he takes a little drop step because he's got a 5 technique, but he gets the second step in his crotch. This guy takes a drop and he pounds his second step pretty quick. So this is a good path. He uses his outside arm. Will uses his outside arm to press the hip wide, and he really stretches the linebacker. What we teach on the dose, stretches the linebacker to get the inside leg to the crotch. And now we've done a good job of stretching the linebacker, good job of stretching him, and then there's a running seam for the back. It'll be right off Will's hip. Good job again by Will. He opens, pounds, the second step, 5 technique stretches. And another thing to remember, this guard on a 12 step has to drop deeper depending on where he is, because the whole philosophy of his zone blocking is covering his hip. So he's got to drop deeper and pound and get a second step in there. So he's got to drop deeper to get in there. So you can see them work together pretty doggone good. This is Akil and Will working together on these steps. And then now Akil leverages the defender, and now he's on the outside. So now he basically can keep pressing that and keep working the defender out. Will's leveraged the linebacker. Now we'll find one with the center guard combo. All right, here'll be the center guard. This will be a good look at probably TJ. This is called a scoop block. We tell this center, he's taking his own step, and he's under center this time. He's taking his own step. And, he doesn't do a real good job with the lift because he gets too much left arm in there. But he needs to try to get his right leg in the crotch. But I really like the backside guard, because the backside guard, when you see his feet, look at them steps on the trail steps. You saw this earlier on the pipe drill, us taking these steps. He steps, pounds, his second step. he gets his head to the window, he's pressing the guy, and he presses the center off, and really that's a pretty good job. The only thing that I'd say about Kyle is he's using too much left arm right now. The center, using too much left arm. Well, I hope you've learned something. That's our run emphasis on our offensive line drill tape. We've covered steps, our zone steps that we take every day. We covered our shoot work that we do in the shoots. We covered our combination blocks. We covered our pull tracks that we run on our counters and how to read it. So hopefully you've learned something, you understand what we're trying to do. There's so much more that we could have covered. We could continue, but we've run out of time. So if you have any questions, feel free to call me at 1-800-81-TIGER.